Hello, we're here with Carr, the owner of Spain Advisors, and he's going to help us to know the good tips and helpful information about buying a property in or near Barcelona. Hello, Mark. Good morning.
Hi, Yoya. Nice to see you.
Tell me about your job and what you do in Spain Advisors.
Okay, I'm a lawyer from the United States. I moved here in 2000, and I bought a property in 2010. And I worked in a law firm for a long time, helping people buy property. And about 6 years ago, I started my own company, Spain Advisors, helping people find and buy property in Barcelona.
Is this time of year, and specifically 2021, a good year to buy a property here?
Yes, it's a great time to buy property in Barcelona now. A large percentage of the flats that are purchased in Barcelona and nearby Barcelona are purchased by foreigners. And right now, foreigners are not traveling due to COVID restrictions. As a result, the prices have leveled off, and sellers and owners are negotiating the prices with the buyers. But it's not going to last. After COVID passes, I think there's going to be a high spike in the prices. So if you're going to do it, now is the time.
And what is the first step we should take care in this process?
The very first thing you should do is talk to a bank. You need to know if you need a mortgage. Okay? You need to know if you qualify for a mortgage and how much money you can borrow, and then start looking for flats. Okay? The classic mistake is that a person will be searching for a long time, they finally find the property, the price is agreed to, but their mortgage is not ready. And agents and sellers do not like holding property for people, because it can take anywhere from 2 to 12 weeks to get a response from the bank. And thus, they sell the property to someone else. So always start by going to the bank. I work with several, and it's so important now that I take my clients to the bank and talk to the loan officer with them. It saves time.
And how are the mortgage rates right now?
Very good. Now is a great time to borrow. If you are a fiscal resident, that means if you file a tax return in Spain, you can get a 30-year mortgage for 1.6 to 2% interest, and it purchases 80% of the flat, which is outstanding. That's fantastic. If you're a non-resident, which just means you do not file a tax return here, you can get about 70% of the purchase price for about 2% fixed over 30 years. So rates are great, but they're not going to last.
Okay, so when we already found a place that we love to live in, what do you do exactly for us?
Well, first, I like to negotiate the price. This is where I can save my clients money. Over the years, I've developed some tips that work pretty well. You have to remember, in Barcelona, there is no market price for property. The flats and the houses are too distinct. Therefore, when it comes to listed prices, the sellers or their agents simply pick a number and hope for the best. So and some of the flats are way overpriced, and some of them are listed to sell. So it takes a while to get to know if a price that you see online is realistic or not. But no, I like to negotiate. I always ask my clients, please don't talk price with the agent when you go in, because they can kind of trick you and get you to commit to a price up front, and then I can't negotiate.
Okay, we agree the price. What's next step?
The next step is to get the flat reserved in your name. And this requires signing a contract. It's called a reserve contract, but it doesn't reserve the flat for you unless it says so. Okay? And you also need to pay a small deposit with the reserve contract. So in the reserve contract, you just want to make sure it says that you want to reserve the flat, and the agent must take the flat off the market while I do the due diligence and while you wait for your mortgage to be approved by the bank.
Then after that, what should be?
Then after that, you have to make a 10% non-refundable deposit, and you sign another contract that we call an ADAS contract. And that's the point of no return. So you need to make sure that the property is safe to buy, that any inspections are done of the structure, and that your mortgage is ready, or at least you have very positive feedback from the risk department. In fact, they have approved your mortgage based on the financial documentation. Okay. Then you're ready to move forward. A lot of times I go in and talk to the bank and ask them, is it safe for my client to proceed and pay the 10% deposit? that seems to work pretty well.
But can I sign if my mortgage is not accepted yet or approved?
You can, but you must include a clause in the artist contract that says if I don't get the mortgage or enough money to borrow, the seller has to give me back my money. Sellers and agents don't like giving back deposits, so you have to be careful, and that needs to be negotiated. Like I said, it's always best just to take the artist contract right in and show it to the bank and discuss it and make sure they're going to get the mortgage and enough to borrow, and then move forward.
If that goes well, if all that process goes well,
Well, you can buy a property here in 60 days. If that all goes well, if the property is safe to buy, there's no liens, etc., there's nobody living in the flat, etc., you can sign the final deed within 30 days. So the whole process can take about 60 days if it all goes quick, if it all goes well.
do you do you want to add some other classic mistakes or things that are very important to to take care of?
Well, be careful with the agents in Barcelona. You don't need a license to sell flats in Barcelona. And there's a lot of money in it. So you know what that means. There's a lot of people doing it. There's agencies everywhere. So when you visit a flat, be sure to ask, one, do you have a license to sell property? And two, are you charging me, the buyer, for your services? Because sometimes they will charge the buyer, but they do not put that fee in the listed price. So you need to ask, what is the total for the property? And also, I like to help my clients negotiate, like I said. So don't say anything positive about the property, and try not to talk about price, because you're not really ready to negotiate yet unless you have more information. But otherwise, Barcelona is a great place to live, and it's a great investment. There's a lot of demand, but there's not a whole lot of room to develop. So the prices of property are always going up. And the prices of property in Barcelona are a lot lower than in other European cities, including Madrid. So there's a lot of room to increase. And I think about a year from now, the market's going to look very different in terms of prices. So like I said, if you're going to do this is a pretty good time to buy.
Thank you very much, Mark Carr.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.